Oh, hello there. Yes, well, it was an interesting series of events last night in the House of Commons, which obviously has attracted a lot of attention. Groups of people that cannot produce cleaner, even though they are in an ethanol factory. Words to that effect. But such things, I think, are very indicative of the way that nothing can work in the UK, because the people that insist that they must be in charge are people that are basically incapable of making anything work. And we do need to get rid of almost all of them. And leaving aside the House of Commons and the ridiculousness of the events of last night, I present you with Alistair Heath, who's commentating today in the Daily Telegraph, and it's worthwhile just unpacking some of the things that he, that great man that still, after all these years of being wrong, is still magically right. Anyway, let's look at this, okay? I have glimpsed the terrifying future of lazy defences near bankrupt Britain. All parties promise huge new spending on pensions and NHS that the country simply cannot afford. Yes, the country can't afford it. Let's think about what he means by that. Well, he does the sort of classic thing of commentators by automatically assuming that you will just instantaneously agree with him. So we get we crave and we want, we've lost interest, we don't feel like it. Well, Alistair, that's not me and the vast majority of other working class people in the UK. It's not so much craving things, it's just that we have had stuff taken away from us and nothing has been given back in its return. We have been promised consistently jam tomorrow and we haven't got it, whereas you lot, you, not we, you lot, have become considerably richer, all the while telling us how bad we are, how lazy we are. Good grief, it's no wonder nothing works when we don't work hard. And then goes on to this notion of things that are ours. Our economy has underperformed terribly since 2008. Hasn't it just? Wonder what happened then. It must have been those lazy working class people. Yes. And there's all those problems with all those things that we have to spend on, like, the NHS or roads and stuff like that. Everything's just got a lot worse. He has noticed, but thankfully he doesn't think that it might be due to the fact that things are just simply being run badly. That would be foolish, after all. That's what his mates do. Can't be right. Yeah? And his solution to this, inevitably, is the old Liz Truss model. The one that hasn't worked. Didn't work when Liz Truss was Prime Minister. Didn't work before Liz Truss was Prime Minister, and certainly won't work afterwards. But nevertheless, Alistair will still end up being the right about this. So he says we have three possible paths ahead. The first is to usher in an economic revolution to turbocharge most growth, modelled on that being pushed through by Milei. Yes, Argentina. You know him. Yeah, wasn't he great? Okay. Yeah, Argentina's libertarian president, the world's most inspirational politician, despite his silly views on the Falklands. Yes. You see, I would argue completely the opposite. I think he's got very sensible views on the Falklands, and the rest of it is very silly. Of course it is. And when the Argentinian economy, as it is continuing to do so, still got 250% inflation, when that doesn't magically get solved by basically spending nothing internally and deciding to drive your economy based on the US dollar, when all that crashes down, Alistair will still be right, because it'll be the nasty left-wing unions that have brought him down rather than anything else. Yes, and, obviously option number 2 is just drastic public spending cuts, because that's the one thing that will drive the economy in a recession, is drastic spending cuts, isn't it? Yeah, all the things we can't afford. So you sell off the NHS. After all, it's the only thing that we've left to sell off. No doubt Nat West is going to finally go as well, at an enormous loss, despite the fact that somebody could have done something else with that. But no, of course not. No, that would be the wrong thing to do, because Alistair said so. He's read Adam Smith, so he must be right. He knows all about this stuff. He's the magical guy that understands pin manufacture. Yeah, Yes, so inevitably he finishes up with, I favour a combination of options 1 and 2. We urgently need an urgent, different political class that is willing to puncture our national delusions. And there you have it, the most basic lack of self-awareness that you could possibly imagine. A man who earnestly believes that cutting, like what we've been doing for 15 years, will produce a different result. Because after all, if you're presented with a fatted calf and you continue cutting, it just magically grows more meat, doesn't it? Yes. So remember what we need to do. We need to be a lot more like Argentina. After all, their politicians are so much more sensible than ours are, unless of course it comes to things that are, very close to Argentina, and any logical person would see would apply there. Anyway, do have a lovely Thursday. If you can, it's going to be damp in more ways than one.